Lady Gaga with Poker Face here on the Mix 93.1, 104.9 FM, jamming along to some of the best music of all time on Wilburton's favorite morning show, Digging Deep in the AM. Thanks for that little bit of a breather between Coach K and our next guest. Very much so appreciated. Got a couple sips of water in there and good to go. And as always, a big thank you to Coach K for joining us on Wednesdays. The other coach that likes to come in here and join us on Wednesdays is Coach Josh Merrill of EOSC men's I almost said basketball. See, Sam Merrill, every time I talk with Coach Merrill, I want to say Sam because I'm a Cavaliers fan, but Coach Josh Merrill, head coach of Eastern men's baseball. So, Coach, good morning.
Morning.
Not Coach Sam Merrill. It's I think it might be between that and Coach Sam Taylor, and I just want to keep wrapping them all up.
It's all right. I wish I could go shoot lights out from three.
You and me both, dude. I can't do it. But just like with all of our coaches shows here on Mountaineer Radio, Coach Merrill comes in to talk what is, what was, and what will be with Eastern Oklahoma State college baseball. So first and foremost, Coach, we look at what was, and it's been a tough season thus far, and a tough little stretch here culminated in that game against Carl Albert in a night game on Monday before the nitty-gritties, I guess, so to speak. How was your first night game here at Eastern? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was great for about 8 1/3 innings. It's a cool vibe out there. We practiced out there a couple times under the lights. I think guys were fired up to be out there. The field looked really good. Like I said, for 8 1/3, man, I was loving it. Just kind of that last little 2/3 slipped away. But in terms of just how it was, man, it's awesome. I think, for our guys, getting to the field a little bit later in the day, not having to worry about, some of our guys who didn't have class got to sleep in, all those things. I think guys really were rejuvenated and enjoyed showing up to the field a little later to get our pregame stuff in.
And that game against Carl Albert, I felt was pretty complete, all things considered. Fell down early. You didn't allow a crooked number in the first, only trailed by 2 runs. But then the base hits started just piling up. And that was really, I think I said it on the broadcast for you guys, was a death by 1,000 cuts was what you were putting together. Didn't really have a lot of extra base hits. I mean, you had the 1 homer by Clayton Sanders. But, the bats looked good, 12 hits. But I know certainly with 12 hits, I think you and I both can agree there's more runs that you'd want to see.
Yeah, no, we could kind of pinpoint, I think, 4, maybe 5 innings where something offensively happened that couldn't happen. In the 3rd inning, we struck out with the bases loaded with 1 out. In the 5th inning, we got a bunt down, and they ran a bunt defense, and we put it right where their bunt defense was. I actually used an offensive timeout to kind of talk about that. So, some non-execution stuff. We had really good at-bats until it was time to execute. You hit the ball, 12 times for singles, you probably should score more than 3 runs. So that was a little bit of a letdown. But at the end of the day, our pitchers did well enough that, we scored 3 and we had a chance to go win a game 3-2. So commend our pitchers. But I think, I told our guys after the game, like, that is a team loss. We legitimately let ourselves down fielding, let ourselves down executing offensively. And then obviously in the 9th inning, we kind of fell apart on the mound too.
And to dip the toes, I guess, into the pitching staff, Caleb Ray, phenomenal game. I think I've seen him pitch as a starter twice now this season, and 4 or 5 innings max out of him, and he looked good, and he started going into that 3rd time through, gave up that walk and a hit by pitch. But what are you seeing out of him that is really giving him so much life on the hill?
Yeah, his changeup is an outlier changeup. It is a really, really good pitch. Hitters have to respect it, so then he can now get in on a fastball. So, there was some pitches that he even missed with a fastball that the hitter got themselves out because they were worried about the changeup. So for him, when he's ahead and he can throw that changeup, that fastball, and that breaking ball kind of in any count, he's going to be able to go carve up a lot of lineups. So for us, it's really nice to see him. He threw well in the fall for us in the beginning of the spring, kind of had a little bit of command issue with fastball. He's starting to get that fastball command back. And like I said, I think he's going to be a really big staple for us moving forward.
Yeah, the other guy who I feel can be that type of impact for you, we've talked a little bit with the mics off about Cooper Johnson. I'm going to give Jarrett Bell a little bit of a due from this game as well. The guy has come in and really helped settle things down over the last few games that we've seen. So I want to give a moment for both Jarrett and Cooper. Cooper starting to find his way into that starting rotation, but it's a couple of these guys that had slow starts with their arms that are starting to pick things up for you. What are you doing to help kind of unlock the chest, so to speak, on what those guys have?
Yeah, I would say, whether our record's flipped or not, like I'm a big believer in, we have conversations and we're trying to learn about how to unlock things every single day. So I think I said it on the broadcast after Carl Albert, Jarrett Bell, I don't even remember where we were. It was coming. We were at a Brahms. And we were talking about how he had been too middle of the plate. We watched some video. We talked about it. And so we just kind of said, you don't walk, guys. Let's be a little bit more fine. Let's be a little bit more on the corners. And from that day forward, he's had 4 really good outings for us. So that unlock happened in a Brahms over a milkshake and a burger. And that's what it's been for him. So, I mean, he's thrown 6.1 innings out of the bullpen for us of the last two weeks and has given up, I think, 1 run. He's been lights out for us. So he'll be a guy we'll see a lot of over the next month that we have.
Good old double cheeseburger and a strawberry shake. That'll cover a lot.
That'll get the job done.
And I mean, the other thing that I'm really starting to see, we've seen it all year long, is JM Long be that guy. But beyond JM, it's all right. Well, who's going to be the number 2, number 3, number 4 bats that can really step up? And Braden Sprague, we've given flowers to several times this year, but a couple of the bats that I don't think you and I have talked about a lot, Luke Altum, Cooper Johnson's bat starting to pick up. But how about Clayton Sanders, a casual little 3-for-4 day against Carl Albert? What are these bats starting to show you? I know that it's been a not great year with the bats, where average is a little bit low, strikeouts a little bit not where you want them to be, earning first base, but what are these bats starting to show you?
Yeah, I think in the beginning of the year, good pitching beats good hitting. So, I mean, I think some of our numbers are being weighed down by what happened in February. Our guys have really gotten on time to fastball. Once again, we talk about challenging guys. We're going to challenge guys. We still do in practice. Yesterday, we had a very tough practice. We made guys hit shapes of a guy by the name of, Nolan Ryan. Like they were facing Nolan Ryan off the machine yesterday. We are challenging these guys, and they are answering the bell. So those guys have continuously said, hey, what do I need to do to get better, coach? What do I need to work on? We do early work every day. The guys you mentioned, they're the first guys at early work. We go at 1 o'clock. Those guys are spending time in the cage, and usually with the guys that spend time in the cage, they start to see the reward. So, Luke, we're excited for Luke. Luke's a freshman. Those freshmen that we're talking about, and honestly, Clayton didn't get a ton of at-bats last year where he was at before. So some of these guys, not named J.M. Long, they are coming into their own. They've had their freshman year was almost the beginning of our spring. They are learning how to be mature hitters. Well, usually good things happen when you take mature at-bats.
And you talk about that preparation a little bit. And, I remember our first conversation this year where you're sitting here and going, I scheduled a tough part of the year because I want to be prepared for what's coming later. And I know that the win-loss column isn't necessarily reflecting that, but there is a lot of growth that you're seeing just watching the games. And, yeah, there's frustrating moments, but, I want to ask you, what's some of the growth that you're seeing out of these guys where you look back, 2, 3, 4, 5 months ago where I can't believe we're doing that, to now, like, cool, I can check that off as not something I have to worry about anymore.
Yeah, Coach Bartley, actually, he's a guy that he's a pretty wise human being. He's been around. And I was kind of in the dumps on Monday, like, man, like, what do we got to do? And he goes, hey, remember 2 months ago when we were talking about how we couldn't finish a 9-inning game? How we were either run ruling or getting run ruled? He's like, look at that. We're finishing 9-inning games. We're just coming up a little short. He's like, so the growth is there. From January to now, we have seen better at bats. We've seen guys not chase down. We've seen guys go in and attack. We've seen our pitchers hold base runners better. So baseball is one of those games that can really kind of knock you down. In football, you can just be the more physical team. Basketball, you could go shoot 50% from 3 and beat a team. There's so many things that have to happen on a baseball field that you take for granted wins a little bit because, you have to field, you have to hit, you have to base run, you have to hold base runners. All of that has to be A+, and for us, our margin for error is small. So I think we've grown a ton, but unfortunately, you're still looking at 10-31. But I'm very excited for the end of this year. We said it. I'll say it on the air. I think we're going to go win our playoff game. We're gonna go play we're going to be the 5 or the 4, and we're going to go play a 4 or 5, I think we're going to go win that game because we've grown that much, and we're going to be ready for it.
So as you continue to look throughout the schedule here, I mean, we're in April at this point, and it's crazy to think that a month from now we're talking about tournaments and softball and baseball and everything that comes with that. And I know you and I will have plenty to sit here and talk about, but now you're coming down the stretch here of all these big Region 2 games where everybody's trying to push past you. And Seminole State coming up here this weekend is one of those types of teams. And Seminole State's been one of the best teams in Region 2 over the last few years. How are you starting to prepare for your next game, which is coming up on Thursday here at home? How are you starting to prepare for a team like Seminole State, knowing that there's a lot they're still playing for as well?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think whether it's Seminole State, whether it's Rose State, whether it's NEO, we're going to prepare the same way. We're going to put our guys in positions where we're going to watch film. We're going to learn about. We've already seen all these teams, so we know what they're going to have on the hill. We're going to set our machine up to go face their number 1, their number 2, their number 3, their best bullpen arm. Our pitchers, we're going to throw bullpens with the intent of they have a lot of lefties. We better be able to go land a changeup. We better be able to throw a backdoor breaking ball because they're going to be able to hit fastball, and the wind's going to be blowing out at our place this weekend. So we have to be able to go attack and make them hit ground balls. So I don't care who we're playing. We're going to prepare the same way, and we're going to have our guys be ready to go compete. One thing that I can promise you, we're 10-31, whatever. Our guys don't not compete. They show up. They get after it. They want to go beat someone. So it's not hard to go prepare when our guys are showing up with the intent of let's go 1-0 today, not hopefully we can get our 11th win. We don't talk about that. It's let's go 1-0. We're 0-0 right now.
Here I was about to say, you're not going to say you're going to prepare to see Nolan Ryan again for Seminole State. Is that like a physical feature on pitching machines where you can set it to certain like pitchers, or do you have to adjust like velocity?
Yeah, so there's 3 wheels, so you adjust the wheels, and you can make those things do some crazy things. So I kind of have some kind of programmed in my head of hey, here's a carry, here's sink, here's whatever. So we most of the pitchers that we see are more carry. So we're having guys see balls that have hold plane a little bit, stay at the top of the zone. And I think that's a big reason why we're starting to hit is at the beginning of the year we weren't on time to the top of the zone. We are now.
Well, good. Good luck hitting Nolan Ryan. No, thank you. I probably couldn't even get a bunt down against even a collegiate pitcher. So no, thank you right there. But I want to ask, I guess, one more question here. What is the thing that you're most proud of with these guys? I know that it's been a tough year and a first tough year with, your first year coaching and all the players you had to go and the culture that you've been establishing. Yep. And that culture and those expectations are something that have fluctuated and we've talked about all year long. But, to take away a positive for what's been tough so far, but still a lot of games to play, what is the thing that you are most proud of with this team?
Yeah, I mean, I think I said it just a second ago is our guys show up every day at practice. You would not know what our record is. You would not know that we're struggling. Guys show up, they're ready to work, they're ready to listen, and then on game day, they're ready to go to war. There hasn't been a quit factor. I think that's easy to do when bad things happen, especially with 18 to 20-year-olds. Like, all right, well, this year's over. Let me move on to what's next. Our guys aren't talking about what's next. They're talking about, hey, who do we have next that we can go get right, and how do we go get ourselves right? So I think I'm most proud about that. I had an opposing coach say, man, it tells me a lot about your guys and you as a staff because you guys don't quit. Like you are here every day. You show up. So for us, that's a tribute to our players of showing up every day with the intent of we're going to get better and we're going to learn and we're going to grow.